have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY?
I've had several phone calls with the person who goes by the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I don't actually know his real name.
And unfortunately, every time I make a call, it becomes content for the media.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when your head is...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take they know a boss is coming.
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds. Yo, yo.
Is that a poppy seed? You realize I'm your P.O., right? Straight to booking!
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Flexing screenshots, fake stats, big talk. Gucci on a credit card, living in the TikTok. VPN hero, keyboard De Niro. Whole team zeros, but you swear you some pharaoh. You so air in a jar, flip fast, get rich. DM full of victims, you just scroll and switch. You ain't built an empire. You fishing in the kiddie pool, playing with retirements, bragging like you really cool. Wow! Now you fumbled that bag. Heavy bass hit every time that you brag. Screens got receipts and the memo hit tag. That umbrella guy came swinging with the drag. You ran that scared, thought you never get tracked. Now your face looped up in the meme on black. Whole timeline laughing while you fall collapse. That umbrella guy just wrecked your ass. You an investment coach, but your math don't math. Turn trust into dust, turn cash into ash. You was laughing at the loss, every life that you drain. Now a clip on repeat shows your whole fake chain. He pulled dots, dropped dates, sync them with the live stream. Chat say yikes, every comment the crime scene. Pause, zoom, play. Now the mask gone crooked, you in shadow in the dark. You a clown caught looking. 56K. Now you fumbled that bag. Heavy bass hit every time that you brag. Screens got receipts and the memo hit tag. That umbrella guy came swinging with the drag. You ran that scam, thought you you can, now it's that's not me. But the voice, same laugh, same cheek, white tee. Thought the net forgets, now the net remembers. Turn the fraud into folklore, pin you like a member. 56, now you fumbled that bag. Every base hit, every time that you brag. Screens got receipts, and the memo hit tag. That umbrella guy can't swing it, but the drag. You ran that scam, thought you never did track. Now your face looped up in the meme all blast. Whole timeline laughing while you fall collapse. That umbrella guy just wrecked your ass.
All right, what's up? Now I am hoarse today, but I figure we already have a pair pony horse guy, so I guess I can channel my Mr. Ed too. Oh Lord. Actually, Megan is having power outages problems. we encountered an issue at start. It's been an interesting day so far, but I'm not letting this not let me cover today. This is such a crazy thing. I'm doing well. It's just my voice is trying to go out, you know. I'm actually on the rebound. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow anyway to check it out, but it's all sinus stuff, so I'm good to go. But I was thinking about what was funny is last night I was thinking about, you know, just taking the day off, just being lazy until Lynette went on a posting spree. She posted video 1 on Facebook. She showed her face. She didn't like that. So she posted video 2, which was video 1 is about 5 minutes long. Video 2 was about 13 minutes long, also on Facebook. Then she posted a video 3 on YouTube that went for about 13 minutes as well, in which she accidentally shows her face too. Now, I heard the YouTube one. I have not found a person that has actually gotten a recording of the YouTube one. But I did get a minute of it, and she privated it out. She shut that thing off fast. I mean, fast. But I did hear it. It was actually interesting because it was an all-out attack on her family, on Ashley. She essentially was saying things like that Ashley was jealous. The way I took it, anyway, she said things like Ashley was jealous of HG, and that's why she was mad. I mean, the stuff she said was so gross. It was so disturbed. She was talking about things like, hey, you need to move on. You need to do this, you know, all of this stuff about Ashley, followed by, I'm getting an attorney to open case and we'll sue you if you don't leave me alone. So it was so mental to see laid out the way it was. It was just like, it was like watching mental midgetry on display. But Lynette, I mean, she just went full-fledged. Also, Lynette, this is a fun little dilly for you. I'm sure you'll hear this. When you put up a video and then you private it, you lose all the metrics for it. So I know you want to get monetized. You were talking about trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Well, the problem with that is that you don't get any credit. So if you go live and you remove something, if you delist it or anything, it does not count towards your metrics. It will be removed. So good luck with that. You have to leave your content up. So I know she wants to make money. She has again talked about, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll make videos. Well, she made a video, but again, she didn't leave it up. So none of it counted. 44 people saw that before it went down. How do I know? Because I saw the metrics. Again, I even have a screenshot of when it went black, and I've got the first minute of it. I captured, like I said, her, but it didn't capture all of the discussion with it. It was funny because typically I wouldn't have been up that late. Somebody was nice enough. I don't know if they want me to say who they were. So I'll just say somebody was nice enough to point out that Lynette had been live. And then I saw that this was up. But by the time I end up getting to it, and I mean, we are talking about just minutes in, I'm setting up, I'm listening to it. The reason I got to hear it is because in order to get it to load, I'll listen to it on 3-speed. That way, at her 13 minutes, it'll come up for me, and and let's see, what is that? That's about 5 minutes or less. So I listen to her. Now she's talking like blah, 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 but I still got to listen to it. And then, but like I said before, it's amazing how much shit she'll talk, but she won't leave it up there. It's interesting because here you can see where she was live, and she just removes it. It goes dead in the middle of the broadcast. And the metrics on it showed the metrics of how many people ended up seeing it. And there were 44 all told, which is not a terrible number. Lynette, if you're trying to monetize, you're going to have to leave it up though. But what was interesting, so she starts posting about all of this stuff. By the way, if you enjoy the content, consider super chatting. Like I said, this is a good day to do that. Man, I feel like a truck has ran me over the last few days, but the crazy never stops. What's crazy too? I deleted, I removed the face on this, but while she's going on to about all of this, she and John, of course, are posting about Jeremy's kid. You can say, again, I removed his face on this, but you can see, like, here's Lynette, like what she's claiming, she's the poor victim. If anybody ever talks about her and anything going on in her life, meanwhile, she's posting even removed videos, and she's reposting. So John Cook, and then they're reposting it. So for them to claim that they're somehow being victimized through all of this is pretty amazing. By the way, people were asked, did Mr. Yeah, sound like Travis? That's funny. That Mr. Coop got the YouTube. He didn't actually have. A lot of people ended up, there is a Facebook live stream that is still up there. So for myself, again, I'm not taking credit because other people noticed as well, but I got the 5-minute early stream, which she doesn't say a lot in it. The one that's up, we're going to cover that sucker for sure. But the one that she pulled, like I said, I'll give you a synopsis of the pulled ones. And when everything is working right, we will go over every single one of them. But as far as the stuff that she ended up pulling, she pulled it because she showed her face. She actually tells you why. Let me find her post over that. See, she posted over this and said that here was her post about why she removed the first one, by the way. I didn't realize it had my face and my mouth and my broken tooth, and now I'm going to get nothing but ripped for that. I'll redo my video tomorrow. But she didn't. First of all, in the first video, she does. She's covering the screen with something, and she did it in the YouTube video as well. So she did it in both of them. But you could see it slip at the end, like in the 5-minute one. But it was essentially Jeremy Hales is responsible for everything bad in my life. That's what it started as, and it continued as, which is, again, it's pretty flagrant. This is what she says about it. Actually, let me see if the sound will come up on this. Let me see if it'll play the sound for you. Because it's almost, here's Clipto with the sound. Tell me if you can hear this, okay? Because it'll have the sound on it. If not, then we'll read. But tell me if you can hear this.
Hi. I'm sorry that I'm not going to show my face.
Apologize.
I just don't feel like it tonight. I want to say this. We're tired. We are tired of fighting the stalker and we're tired of dealing with all of these followers that he has.
What's funny though, okay, when she says this, she had just put out videos about Jeremy Hale's kid. See, this is gaslighting at an extreme because she's playing the victim. She's saying, oh, that Jeremy Hales, he's a monster, he's a stalker. While again, gaslighting him, trying to get responses from him because she knows she's going to get a response from that. And again, you know, it's kind of amazing to see. This is what I mean about, they also currently, Hales isn't really giving them content. None of them. So they're kind of bottoming out. You know, a lot of people don't like to hear about paint chips. They don't really like to hear about lips. The thing they're listening for is stuff that is going on with Hales. So now again, Lynette, if she wants to make videos and talk about how she hates the guy and stuff, you are entitled to that. Now, calling someone a stalker, that might, again, depending on what she puts with statements of fact, you know, she plays a risky game. A very risky game. But people are entitled to speech too. And honestly, I would rather every one of these people make videos. You know why? Because when they're making for twofold. Number one, they put everything on record in their own voice. And number two, they aren't escalating when they're doing this. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that is one thing I do. Oh, by the way, if you want this Clipto, here you go, babies. Give me a second. This is off mine. Just download it. It'll have the sound at the bottom. You know, didn't Jeremy leave? Yes, yes, he left. Yes. So there is, by the way, the first one. If you want it, later on, just write me if you didn't pick it up. You know, that way you can see it. But the longer video, which we'll listen to, also, and again. You can just listen to it through, but for me to cover it, the reason we talk about it, that is the epitome of fair use. These people are so twisted and they don't understand fair use. Fair use is quite literally discussing what happens with something. That's exactly what we're doing. And they're not monetized. So, you know, anyway, let's go.
That just do everything they can to hurt us and our rescue. We love our tortoises. We did this for a reason. It started in Northport. It started with George and our little Redfoot. Actually,
didn't the rescue, by the way, I'm not saying they didn't have turtles in Northport, but didn't the rescue itself start in Otter Creek? You know, as far as documented starts, isn't that when it started? That's the way I've understood. Again, Lynette, you can clarify this yourself if you'd like to. You know, you can throw in the dates yourself if you want. But I thought that the first dates of Start were then. When are they going to give it up? Never. They'll just escalate. Like I said, you know, the stuff that was aimed at Travis, that, good Lord, that's another thing we haven't even hit yet. With John Cook trying to instigate drama with Travis, trying to start shit there. And then you have this stuff where they're trying to start shit here. I mean, this is a money maker for them. You know, it is absolutely. These people have seen more money out of this than they have ever seen in their life. Even taking the Barndo and all that other bullshit, all of those issues and putting them aside, the amount of money that's there. Now it's probably at 20%, if that, of what it was worth before, but it's a big money maker for them. And they also, I mean, it's kind of like this. She posted items for sale. She posted some silver jewelry. And of course, you know, I'm not pro or con talking about her business with that. I'm just noting that. Right away, she gets some sales. Now, she talks about having a business before. Okay, but the reason the name's out there, what have you latched it on to? You've latched it on to Hales. That's why people pay attention, and that's why they've been able to sell, in my opinion. But anyway, let's continue on with this. Again, there's
Redfoot was first. And then we got George and moved on from there. And my thought on it was, I will be 80 years old when my little girl is 20. I don't want her to be idle. I don't want her to not have anything to do or love. I want her to be busy. I want her.
Now, I personally do not plan for my children to take over my endeavors when they're 20. If my kids say, hey, I want a live stream, that's cool. You know, they, their names are known enough. If they want to do something like that, they can, but I in no way, shape or form am wanting them to inherit my problems. And this is supposed to be a 501c3. It's not a business. It's a charity. So what you may call love with it too, another person may call a chore. You know, I mean, to assume that your child will only have turtles to love in the future too is, I don't know, it's sad the way that this is stated to me. When I first listened to it, I thought, that's a sad prognosis for your future if that's the way that you see it. You know, that they'll only have animals to love. You know, there are plenty of other things, but deciding them on a future, on a set path is kind of, especially again, the way that it's treated with that. You know, let's continue.
To have something she can love. So we kept up with the tortoise rescue, and we love them. We love the fact that there's barely any people out there that rescue them. The pet trade is an evil thing sometimes. They breed the crap out of these poor tortoises. There's hundreds of them in a litter. There's just so many of them. You buy them and they're itty bitty, and by the time you turn around, they're 250 pounds. And what do you do with them? To move on from there, we are not being illegal about anything. We are not lying. We are not cheating. We are not doing anything. We have been looked at by Fish and Game several times because of the stalker and his followers. We have been reported to every possible agency that you can think of. I am good.
By the way, you did note in the past that, well, number one, we saw conditions with Fish and Game, and they talked about conditions, things that needed to be repaired. Number one. Number two, there have also been other issues, and hopefully all those issues have been fixed. You know, you had issues with your 501c3, for example. So, I mean, to say that there weren't issues is not real. That's not true.
I got everything back on track. Everything is right. I am not breaking any laws.
By the way, I got everything back on track. That indicates that there were problems when all of that was situated before. Again, Lynette, if you're going to make statements about how everyone is wrong, then when you're structuring your thought, here you are admitting that there were problems. You know, and you've said that. Again, I don't know how you blame well, I've heard how you try to blame Hills and other people for the issues of you not running a 501c3 correctly, which is kind of a very strange thing, by the way. You know, claiming other people have done it wrong, claiming that other people are somehow are the issue. Again, they don't control the day-to-day. We're going to get into that Winn-Dixie here too. The Winn-Dixie story keeps changing. There's a new narrative of the Winn-Dixie story, which is interesting.
They're going to keep harassing us on this page. And for those of you that are following us, I'm sorry.
People are allowed to publicly comment on shit. You are publicly posting. People are allowed to publicly comment. Now, you typically don't allow public comments. You typically shut them down. But when you allow public comments, people have every right to comment on something that is posted publicly. Now, I always tell people not to interact with these folks. I mean, again, they just use it as victim narrative. And actually, they dox people. They'll, again, the John Cook pictures that I showed you the other day, he's pretty damn infamous about, putting up pictures of your families and everything else and talking about sending them to the dark web, which you can only guess what the fuck that means. I mean, just weird, creepy shit like that. But people will interact. They do have the right. Especially, you're asking the public for things. You're asking them to buy shit from you. You're asking them to contribute. She talks about how we're not asking for donations. We're selling items. You're still asking for support from the public. So along with it, whether you think it's fair or not, you still get public criticism. See, I believe, like my comments to Lynette like this, I think they're really fair. I think I'm pretty nice about what I say a lot of times. I temper a lot of what I say. And but it doesn't walk lockstep with her. So everybody's an enemy if you don't walk lockstep with her.
We were getting food by Winn-Dixie until our stalker went into Winn-Dixie and told them that we were not feeding the tortoises the food. We were giving it to the homeless. It was food that they couldn't even donate. It's scraps of lettuce and scraps of carrots, and we would bring it home and wash it. It was good enough for the animals to eat, but not people. It was just...
That disturbs me sometimes. Just that statement. It's good enough for the animals. It ain't good enough for people. Just the way it's presented. Now, I understand there are things that we would feed animals, like we'd feed the cows and shit. We'd feed them things that, again, I would not sit in front of a human for human consumption. But with her and some of the discussions that she had, I remember her talking about Winn-Dixie food and calling it, quote unquote, rotten food. So it feels like we've gotten a new narrative toward all of this, a new narrative of why they don't have it, and a new narrative of what it was. Because again, this stuff goes on. This is what you'll run into over time, by the way. People won't know what happened with the beginning of things. And you will have a retelling of everything. That is why it's so crucial to keep evidence of everything that transpires. When people were like at the beginning, oh my God, Tug, Megan, you guys keep all these notes or screenshots on stuff. Well, yeah, because over a long enough timeline, people will lie about every single thing that transpires. And again, you don't have to like, what's interesting is you don't have to like any of the players that are involved. You don't have to like a Jeremy Hales. You don't have to like Lynette Preston. You can put together a real timeline just by looking at things. And what I notice over time is that you have this thing that transforms. It's like it's not etched in stone. It's like they've carved it on a puddle. And it's always changing. And that tells you that the people you're dealing with, well, let's just say it's not indicative of the truth.
Just a lie on his part to hurt us. He's doing this for commercial purposes on YouTube. He gets paid. He's making thousands of dollars a month on torturing my family.
She just did a live stream about it. Again, she's talking about monetizing. You have every right to monetize, Lynette. What's interesting is, out of everything that's going on, out of anything that happens, these people, again, they sit around nightly, talk shit. Again, they sit around again, gaslight. Their gaslighting consists of, if you were putting up videos of my child talking, yeah, Jeremy has had a lot more control lately than I probably would have. And again, it has become detrimental to his business. They did do their damage by continually doing stuff, but it's crazy to watch them. Now, what's interesting is they use multiple platforms to do this too. She put it in Standing in the Truth. She puts up video of his kid, while on the tortoise thing, talking about, oh, you're torturing my family. As a man, like I told these people, you take aim at my kids, my family, I become very invested in you. So.
They've tried to take my child and overturn my adoption. They've turned my own children against me.
Isn't that crazy? Now, Hales, everyone out there, I guess myself included, I suppose, supposedly turned her children against her. Not her own actions. I actually put out a video. Was it yesterday? My timeline's a little, because I'm tired. I think it was yesterday. She put out a video, and I wanted to show it today. That was going to be what I showed you today, because I thought her response was very good. Her response was like, look, you guys are saying I'm nothing. I'm insignificant. Well, you're right. I'm insignificant to you. Over the past 2 years, I've done nothing but try to find happiness. And I've got the things that you'll never have. I have the love of a family, of this, she goes through that. It's a very good video. It encapsulates that, but it also, through it shows you what she's doing. I mean, out of the blue, after 2 years, Lynette comes in threatening. Because you'll never leave them alone, threatening the lawsuits. And again, she did that last night, but took the video down. But she absolutely did that as well when she put that freaking video up. It was so crazy. Of course she took it down, though. What a coward act. If you're going to say, oh, it's because you had a slip up in your face showed, you can remove the video. Or you just put a still image over it. You can live stream with a still image, by the way, Lynette. You notice yours truly, I don't put my face on the screen. I live stream with still images. You can do that as well.
They've done everything in their power to hurt us. And I'm not going to stop fighting.
That answer right there. And I'm not going to stop fighting. So you're not going to stop. And that's okay. Like I said, if she wants, they still have court cases. This stuff is far from over, even in that respect. But I have the feeling, like, again, monetarily, period, they're feeling the brunt of it. And they got to get it kicked back up. They need something. They need it. So, like Jay says, the new season's here. Like, whoa, what's the storyline going to be?
I'm not going to give in. I am trying to sell things instead of asking for donations. I'm trying to do it better, do it right. Even though every sanctuary and rescue is ran on donations, every one of them functions on donations. but we're not. And we get it. We get it.
We get it. You know what they get? They get the fact that the public, you're not entitled to the public's money. That's ultimately, you did have a fortune in money, though. And again, everything from the flea market booths to the booths themselves, to items that have sold. I mean, those are, what do you think those are? All the stuff that you're hawking, what do you think those are? See, they say they don't run on donations, but aren't those donations, in fact? Isn't all of this stuff like when Only Me, for example, bought all of those rocks from Robbie and sent over thousands of dollars worth of stuff? Aren't those donations? I mean, what do you think those are? So yes, you too run on donations. And in fact, you have had a lot of success. You say that you don't, but that booth that you set up, everything there, you may not be getting cash money, but at the end of the day, you can blame that on the very people that supposedly were helping you, because not only did you all have a public fallout where that damages trust, you have donors that said, I'm never going to give money to these people again. But on top of that, they talked about how irresponsible you are with finances. Now, looking at things, I would concur with that, but these are supposed to be people that are, quote unquote, helping you out. So what a way to help you out, right?
We're doing our best. And all I can do is keep trying. I do not need to prove where I buy something. I do not need to show you my EIN in order to sell it. I do not need, matter of fact.
Nobody is that I know is asking for your EIN number. The things I think people have asked for is to know that you're a functioning 501c3. People have asked to see proof of life of all the animals. And you know what's wild about that is they'll say, well, we won't do that because of harassment, but they'll put up pictures of chickens and other shit at leisure, but they won't do it when people are asking. These are the things that other places would do. And when asking about where you got things, I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to be in reference for. You know, are you talking about when you're selling items? If somebody asks, hey, you know, where did that come from? Maybe they want to know the lineage of it. Maybe they want to know it's not stolen. I mean, again, I'm not saying you stole anything either. I'm just saying, you know, when I buy shit, sometimes I ask questions about it too. I want to know where the fuck it came from. And if anybody's going to come looking for it later on. You know what I mean?
That is a big security risk for us. I do not need to provide any information to sell what I'm selling. I have given the flea market the proper papers. I am doing the proper thing. I just want to care for.
Through here, she stops because in the video, her face, it shows. You can see it, and you can see it from a downward angle. You can see into her mouth, her face. And she said that the reason that she didn't want to continue with that, again, to put this up here, she'll break this into a second video, which I also have here. Give me a second. But she said the reason that she can do it again is because of the state of her mouth. Give me 1 minute. Give me a second to lock it in here. She had stated, I didn't realize it had caught my face in my mouth and my broken tooth. And now I'm going to get nothing but ripped for that. I'll redo my video tomorrow. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to show and gross everybody out. How old I look, how horrible I look stressed will do that. I will redo it tomorrow. So She pulls it down after she figures out that she's on camera. And again, Lynette, all you have to do when you're live streaming, you don't have to cover your camera, lady. Just, you say you spend a lot of time watching YouTube in the day. Look, free advice. Because I want them to live stream. Absolutely. 100% live stream away. But you should look at how something works. And again, it has an avatar selection. You don't have to have your face on it. You can choose with Facebook or any of them. You can choose not to allow your camera. In fact, don't allow it to connect with your camera, period. And you don't have to worry about it. Ain't shit. Then we don't get 40 freaking videos in a night chopped into pieces. Now, you already knew that we were going to have a little posting train anyway, because, we had just gotten posts like this too. Give me a second. We had gotten one saying, before coming here and being stalked and used and bullied and harassed by our stalker, whom you all know, we were very much an accredited rescue in Northport. An accredited rescue in Northport again. Were you? I'm curious about that. I'm curious about when you started up. Again, you could answer that if you want. And it was Mr. Hales that destroyed our lives and our name and our world. So, before Mr. Hales, you said that you ran out of money. I'm going to show the other video part. But before Mr. Hales, you said like you ran out of money to build. You had no more money. And you're living on fixed income. So, again, the flea market and all of that stuff. Had it not been for all of this stuff going on, would you have those things? What's interesting too, Lynette, and maybe she feels this right now. Maybe this is why this is happening too. You notice she has become a secondary fixture, if that. Not even really a secondary fixture. It's all become about 2L, about Leslie, about Richard. It's not about Lynette anymore. Lynette is no longer the central figure in this anymore. They have all hijacked it and made it about themselves. It's kind of fascinating to look at, because when you look at what they cover, they don't talk about her anymore. Very rarely. It's because she turned on them. They turned on each other, whatever. I mean, she'll be beneficial when certain things are worth talking about. But you notice how they skimp out on bankruptcy, for example. It's also because bankruptcy isn't going the way that they said it would. If they talk about bankruptcy, what you find out, by Lynette's own words, is she's looking at losing everything, which was their idea. They promoted it. They pushed it. So, of course, they don't talk about any of that anymore. But anyway. Let's pull up that other video. Give me a second. I got to lock in on that too. Like I said, these are with clipped out. You can go watch her original video that's up there. This is just an easy way not to, if she has a face up, you don't have a problem. Now, this is the continuation, again, of what she was just doing. So she cut it off because she saw her face come up on it. And, again, I'm not going to give her a hard time about that. If my face came up on one, I cut it off too. So I'm not even giving her a hard time about it. That's not even the point in it. The point, if that is the only detail that really, that slams out there. Give me 1 second. Let me check something real fast. Make sure this logged right. Okay, yeah. All right. There's about 15 minutes. Like I said, she put out this, and then the YouTube one goes forward, and that one was all about Ashley. I mean, it was just ugly. All right, here we go.
Hi. I am sorry about that. I put them in the trash.
Just want to roll up.
I didn't know it cost.
This is the reason I'm skipping this stuff at the top, by the way, if you see it rolling back up. AI does an overview. It makes summary, of something. And sometimes it's summary spot on, sometimes it's not. But for our purposes here, it doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. So that's why if you look at it and it keeps rolling back up there, that's why we're not covering that if you're curious about it. And the reason it has this title is because I just threw in a freaking video where I recorded it.
My face, my mouth, I'm sorry. My broken tooth. Just more for people to rip me on and say horrible things about me on. Let's try this again.
You notice these folks pretend that they're the nicest people in the world too. Like they don't make fun of people in their looks. Like they don't, they decided, the lady that was calling them out or calling her out specifically for saying that she had the kid with a face shield or a mask on all the time. The one was like, hey, look at all these pictures. Well, they put up her picture and they all were trying to, again, they love to talk about quote unquote body shaming. Well, they were certainly trying to body shame her. Not only that, it was really funny because that lady was better shaped than many of them. And I kept thinking, my God, these people are making fun of the way someone looks. Are you kidding me? But, in that as well, what's really interesting about that? They were promoting and saying that they were going to call Disney and tell on her. Howard, because she's a person that likes to go to Disney World and enjoys Disney products. So they were going to report her to Disney. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I'm going to tell you, that'd be like seeing that, that I went to the back rooms the other day and be like, I'm going to tell A24, Oh my God, it's so dumb. Yeah, you get right on that. I'm sure they'll care.
Today I tried to sell some things. And all I got was just crap.
See, this is why I like when you're looking at the transcripts, like I said, there are errors in the transcripts. That says cheers, roar, but she says just crap. So the good thing, if you have the link where somebody creates transcripts, it typically loads in the audio file too. So if you can, when you're looking at it, that's why I like Mark. He'll put that in, for purposes again to know what these folks are doing and to quote them exactly with what they're doing.
Lady saying, oh, well, since you're selling this and it's selling for your 501c3, you need to give me your EIN number and you need to tell me how much it was and where you got it. No, I don't. I'm sorry. Look up your law, do your research. You have that all wrong. If I was getting donations.
Was this supposed to be a public comment? Also, I like this. If I was getting donations, you are, lady, you are. The products that you sell donated. Oh, jeez, man. I'm trying to stay calm so I don't lose the rest of my voice. What's funny is I can lose like 80% of my voice and still, I bet you I could sing a better song than these people. Oh, Lord.
And asking for donations, you have every right to ask for that, but you don't when I'm selling things. I sell things, yes, and I sell things from the flea market. I do pay for the things that I sell myself. And if once I sell them, I do take
wow.
out the money that
Isn't this a problem, by the way? How did let me note it like this. You're in a bankruptcy proceeding, and you're saying that I pay for it, not the rescue or anything like that. I pay for products. I do this. Therefore, you should probably get in the habit of saying the rescue. That would probably be a smart thing to do as well.
I put in, if I can. Most of the time I can't, because we need to buy feed and we need to buy hay and we need to get what we need for the tortoises.
Wait, what? What did she just say? Did you hear that? I do take out the money that I put in if I can. Most of the time I can't. Are you intermingling funds? This is not a good way to do this, Lynette. This is actually this kind of stuff right here that'll run you into problems.
But I'm trying, I'm not trying, I'm doing everything legal. I had a point there where I let the rescue go. I got very depressed.
Look, it's Jeremy's fault.
Over all of this stalking garbage.
Look, it's Jeremy's fault, and it's everyone else's fault because she didn't run her 501c3 correctly. It's everyone else's fault. That's the most amazing thing that I run across sometimes. Somehow in some way, the issue, it belongs to other people. 1 second, I hear a raider. I've been telling her to stay quiet. Just 1 second, I'm on mute. It was actually the oldest. She was checking on me. I thought it was a little one raiding. She was checking on me. That was nice of her. I thought it was a little one. I was like, I don't have enough voice to try to, like, to be like, yeah, gotta go, gotta do it. It's funny though. They're cute though. They're a handful when you don't feel good. The little one hasn't been feeling great too. Again, this weather around here has been knocking everybody down. But anyway, as I was saying, she blames Hales for all of her issues. I mean, we're talking about bookkeeping issues and more. What kind of absolute madness is this? See, this is what kills me. She did basically, she did a video over Jeremy Hales being a problem and a video over her family being a problem. Like I said, she ghosted that thing so fast that anybody trying to catch it, they had a problem. I got lucky in the fact that I did hear what was there. And she should provide that publicly because, again, it was attack dogging. And there were a few other people that did hear it as well. But again, she pulled it so fast that I don't think anybody really had a chance to, most people, like, I didn't catch it right when it went on because it happened in the middle. I mean, we're talking about in the late hours of the night when you think everybody else should be sleeping, you're talking about like after streams, 11, 12, whatever at night. And all of that is going on. But I mean, the way she did this, I mean, she broke it in again. So currently she's fixating still on Jeremy Hales and everyone else. And then she's mixing Ashley and family into that too. The family thing really bothers me, by the way. It's something that really makes me mad because what she is doing and what her idiots over there that listen to her are encouraging. They're trying to get her to unseal a juvenile's history, which is no. And they're threatening her. And again, it's right out of the blue. It's the same bullshit that I've seen pointed at other people. But these folks, again, you're talking about somebody that very clearly noted, I've been a victim of horrible stuff, and I've talked about this. I let it go. Again, all of that stuff, it had been talked about, and Ashley and your family, they managed to get that part of it's part of moving on. You carry that. You don't just carry you carry the moments no matter what. But in order to make room for something else, sometimes you have to be able to tell other people about things, to let it go in your own way. And she needed that. And Lynette couldn't just leave it alone. She just couldn't leave it alone. She's telling people publicly that she's made peace with all these family members and this and that. And then you find out that while she's saying this publicly, she's harassing them behind the scenes. It's absolutely unreal.
And I just said, what's the point? We'll take care of them ourselves for a while and we'll just deal with it ourselves. And that's what we did. But then everybody talked me into getting back at it and trying it again, not giving up, because it's for Harley Grace. It's not for me. It's not for
everybody talked her into it, right? Yeah. Everybody. I'm sure people are just falling all over themselves, being like, hey, the one thing I would encourage you to do, by the way, Lynette, is take care of your fucking turtles. They are your fucking burden. You can look at it however, and in the moments when you're like, what's the point? It's your burden you've taken on, You chose that. You chose that you wanted to do it. And I honestly do not understand how, at the cost, again, even at $1 a day average, you're talking about people that, again, we've seen their finances, not to really go into their finances or anything. I do not understand how people that they have 18 turtles, right? And if you're talking about, a freaking $1 a day, that's quite a bit. That's an average. So if there's any cost association with taking care of them, any upkeep, I don't see how you could do it on your own with that. Geez, man, I've got a bunch of spiders and a couple of snakes, and a centipede. And the kids have some little pets and stuff too, right? All of them we have to buy food for. The snakes alone. Right now, like I said, the second one happens, I'm thinking about where I can let him go because he came back to the house. So, but so I've been feeding him for right this moment, trying to figure out where the hell I'm going to take him and what I'm going to do with him. But with them, feeding them really once a week is really what a snake looks at by itself. So you figure you're buying them a live feeder or even a frozen feeder, even if I'm spending $3 a week there. For each one of them, then you got crickets, other stuff, you got food mixes. Again, you can see then you got straw that you have to provide. Like after a while, that stuff, it's not expensive for that type of pet for them, but even at that level, now I can imagine for a 230-pound animal, multiple ones of those definitely are going to have needs, bedding out needs. Like how often do you change all of that stuff? What are their food costs? You said the free food stopped. So again, I'm not understanding how during that time where you're saying I had nothing, I have so little, I have to file against it. Man, Lynette, God, God, buy a cheaper car, lady. Own your own car. Never pay the bank 9 million years on a vehicle. You know, buy an affordable car. It may suck. You may not get what you love. You may not have that brand new thing, but man, it would be yours. You wouldn't pay a third of what you owe. Hey, not my money. Anyway, let's go.
For John, as I said, if anybody heard the first part that I tossed, I'm going to be 80. Harley will be 20. I want her to have something to do. I don't want to leave her with nothing. I want to leave her with a paid-for house. I want to leave her with a paid-for car, even if it's older by the time she gets it. I want to leave her with the rescue so she has something to do and be proud of and love. Something she can say, you know what, my mom did this for me. My dad did this for me. It's really important to me that she knows how much we loved her, and we do love her. This little girl is brilliant.
Now it becomes about the
She's
girl.
brilliant. Her and I were so close before we moved here.
This is what this pisses
Do I
me
regret
off.
moving here? Yes.
Look, this pisses me off because, again, you moved there when the kid was 3. You know, the kid should not understand any of this stuff. The kid picks up on your cues. You create boogeyman. Dude, I've had people threaten to send, horrible things to my home. I've had people threaten and actually send things to my home that they said would go, and luckily that wasn't what it was. But I've had plenty of just craziness. And unless someone forces my kid to be part of it, they are not part of it. And they don't get on a first name basis. Like she said that her kid said, mommy, blah, 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 and blamed Mr. Hales. It was better when we lived it, blah, blah, blah. Again, your kid at 3 doesn't know anything like that. That's a bullshit thing. That is something that if your kid actually says that, they picked it up from you. That is not good, Lynette. That is bad business. Because the kid will say things like that, and the kid knows it gets a reaction too. It's the same thing where I encourage creating things. I post about them. I show off some of the things the kids do. They know it. They know a lot of people. That's something that they see there. Well, that kid would get the same thing. If the kid made things, y'all did crafts together, post pictures of crafts. Hell, have a kid do some macaroni turtles or whatever. If you want to post something positive with your rescue that can help, instead of talking about how it really infuriates me to hear some of this, because kids do not come up with these statements on their own. They don't.
With every part of my being, yes. Do I regret it because of her? No. Harley is not in a wheelchair. Harley's not dead.
What?
Harley doesn't have dystonia.
What?
And by this time, she probably would have, had we stayed in Northport. We had no room in Northport either for the tortoises.
So the move was about...
They take a lot of space. The sulcatas get to be 250 pounds. They're like bulldozers. They're amazing creatures. I think people underestimate that a tortoise can show you affection and show you love just like children can. You scratch their butt, they move it to the left. You scratch the other side, they move it to the right.
Scratch their butts.
They come when you call them. They have personalities.
Yes,
They're
it was
awesome. They're amazing creatures.
Oh.
Just amazing. And my daughter is amazing. All of my daughters, both of my biological daughters are amazing. My stepdaughter, Samantha, even though we have trouble between us because of their mother, and Ashley because of their mother, I still love them.
What's wild is you get this in this one here. And then in the other live stream, you get this other crazy shit. It is such a tale of two cities, as it were. You know, a tale of two shitties. Oh, it's so bizarre to listen to. Yeah, I love them. But by the way, if they talk about anything there, they're liars. And I'm going to lawyer up, and I'm going to dig up the past, and it's so crazy. I'm sorry for them. I am. I don't even know what to say on that sometimes. I feel bad for them. I do. You know, kids deserve to be loved. They deserve, as if there was a problem as an adult, when you get to it, if there is anything remediable, you listen to them. Even if you don't agree, man, you look at it, you decide what the value of that relationship is, and if there's any value in it for you, then you meet them where they are. You don't meet them where you are or where you think. Again, you know, the thing that we learn as a human being too is that even in the best of situations, parties see things differently, you know? Things that I see is, like, I ask my kids a lot, like, we goof off, you know, we goof off, we horse around, you know, they like to, like, throw little insults here, and I keep mine really light, like kid-wise too, you know, like you hear the little ones being like, oh, chicken butt, you know, things like that. And they, you know, they do little scares and stuff, but you make sure that where it's at, you know, again, even with that, goofing off, I make sure that the kid's perception of it is what I think their perception of it is. I don't assume it. At the worst of situations in something, again, it's horrible. Again, you know, Ashley has made it clear there is no remedy or rectifying these situations. So for Lynette to keep bringing her up, I mean, Lynette started bringing her up out of the blue, then was threatening her. Like the first mention I noticed was the way this timeline looked. Again, this is the first mention I see of it. She starts talking about how all of them have, they basically are taking her side and da-da-da-da-da with stuff, you know. And that happens on the 8th of June. Then from what we've seen, by the 10th, there are letters that are being written threatening behind the scenes. So all of that was not true. It was a lie. And like Ashley said, hey, you know, I moved on in these 2 years. I've done all these positive things. You're not part of that. And I mean, that's fine. Dude, I'm estranged from my biological father. In my life, it's better for me not, you know, I do my own thing, and he does his own thing. That's how life is. And, you know, that is what it is. Sometimes you have that, you know, and I can't imagine every few years having that kind of crazy, especially with that. Like I said, I hate it for him. Let's continue though.
And most of you are on here because you are Hales fans, not because you're following me or the rescue.
They are following you. That's an interesting admission. The people that are listening to her She thinks they're all Hales fans. She doesn't think that anybody is there to support the rescue. She doesn't think that anybody there is supporting her. That's an interesting statement, don't you think? I mean, what does that also say? It's kind of insulting to those people that actually do back you on that too. You do have backing. You've had a lot more backing over time, though. Again, Jeremy Hales wasn't the person that could have taken that away from you either. Some of those big backers, Jeremy Hales did not have the ability to take them away. But anyway, let's continue.
Who are following my rescue and not anything else, then I will tell you that I've been being stalked for almost 5 years now by a YouTuber who moved into this town the same time I did. And he came here with the...
Now they moved in at the same time. Isn't that interesting? Now they moved in right around the same time. Huh. So we've got a different kind of narrative here too. Now we have a move-in narrative. It's wild to watch this tale change over time. Why not admit, Lynette, that you're fans of the person? Or whatever, things that go again. 5 years now. He's stalked him now for 5 years. So since 2021, he's stalked him, according to her.
Scheme of the naughty neighbors so that he could make money on YouTube by destroying a family. He tried picking on several people in town and didn't get anywhere. So he decided to hit us. And he makes thousands of dollars a month doing what he does to us.
You notice that comes up over and over again, the amount of money. The amount of money. I love how all the antis nowadays, it's become a pocket watching thing. You notice that all of them talk about, oh man, people are, well, get your money on, Lynette. You make quite a bit of money. I'd be really curious about all the money you made. I'd be really curious. We definitely saw the amount of money that came in on Christmases. And again, that's my problem with all that is not pocket watching. My problem with that is making sure it goes where it's supposed to go. But you've seen barn dough money. 50, I mean, good God. I mean, that's an insane amount of money. But you're like, oh, these are making money.
By lying, by trying to overturn my adoption, turning me into CPS 42 times.
So again, you notice now she has 100% laid the 42 on Jeremy Hales, even though, again, she stated to me that 2L gave her name when calling. And again, I am not saying she did. I don't put stock in Lynette saying things like that. But that's what Lynette said. Now, again, she's gotten to the point that she denies all of that, but I've recorded it. That's exactly why I recorded it. This is exactly why I record everything. Why I keep up with it, because you can't trust these fucking people. Just make shit up.
Turning us into fishing game over and over again. We're cleared. We're cleared by CPS. We're cleared by fishing game. I'm legitimate. I'm doing everything by the book. I'm legal in everything with the rescue. I put everything back the way it should be legally. I'm doing everything that I can to make this the best rescue that I can. I don't know any other rescues in the United States that are not getting donations.
Again, back to the donation.
We're probably the only one. We get no help from
That's actually
anyone.
not true either. There are plenty of rescues out there that people keep for themselves. You know, they themselves have put them together. They run them out of pocket. But I mean, again, to say that money-wise, what's such a bizarre thing is to say that nobody is following her to support her, but to also say that if everybody that's following her, see, this is what I don't get, I guess. If everybody that's following her is Jeremy Hale's supporter, and she's managing, again, to get all of this stuff that that she uses for flea markets and everything else, which we've seen where some of that came from for sure, then does that by note say that Hale supporters are paying for you to do this stuff? What are you trying to say here? It's kind of a strange thing, isn't it?
That's why I'm selling things. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not asking for any help, even though that is the most normal thing in the world to do. But we're not, because of everything that's happening to us right now.
God.
We just want to survive. I want to survive for my little girl. I want Harley to be proud of her mom and proud of her daddy and proud that she is then going to be the owner of this rescue. And hopefully she'll continue it and make it bigger. I would have loved to expand to other animals and to taking in wildlife. I have been permitted almost all of my life as a rehabber.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, I have credentials. I can prove it. I was a rehabber.
Remember when the dogs ate the chickens? And we were all told we were all monsters because we were like, hey, that's wrong. Shouldn't have the dogs eating your chickens. I mean, so your dogs probably have a lot more problem eating your turtles, right? I mean, they could cause some problems with your turtles, but probably have a little more problem with that. But my God, other animals too.
In Iowa, I was a rehabber here when I first got here for a sanctuary. I got my licensing for my mountain lion here in Florida.
Oh God, no.
I've had fox, I've had mountain lion, I've had
scary. That actually, Lynette, that is a scary idea right now to me. With every crazy thing I've seen. Mountain, can you imagine mountain lions? These people with mountain lion out there. Also, I have to say, like, having animals that could potentially eat somebody that's with you, that's scary.
Wolf, I've had, you name it.
Wolves,
And I've had the opportunity, thank God, in my life to deal with all of the animals, bears and lions and tigers and everybody. It's been amazing, the life that I've had.
Yeah.
Not the life you've been told. You've been told lies.
Lynette has she's put out how much shit when she talks about stuff. You know, it's interesting because people have talked about you and other things. In fact, you brought up your ex-husband, for example, you know, and you were talking about how everything was an accident and this and that. So I looked up, some other people sent over articles, props to them, by the way. Yeah, and I found out your ex-husband pew-pewed somebody in the head, you know, went to jail for that. That's why they went away. So you're like, you can't say anything about where you brought them up. You made everybody curious. What were they in prison for? I'd never thought about it. I'd never considered it at all. Then I found out yet another person in the illustrious past with this is, it's pretty crazy stuff.
Those of you that are Hales fans out there, Yes, I said his name because I can. There is no protection order right now. Yeah, I let that out, didn't I? There is no protection order right now. And C, we're not doing anything to hurt him.
Yeah,
I want him to leave us alone.
He's in another state, by the way. So with the protective order, decision's still not in that I know of. If they had a decision, they would show it. You know, they would absolutely show it. But the beautiful thing about all of this is he's not even in the state. How the fuck is he bothering you now? Because he talked about something that happened in a bankruptcy? Oh, because he's opposing you in the bankruptcy. Again, you made him part of it. When you add other people to it, they absolutely, she's like, I can't even get a fair bankruptcy. No, you decided that you wanted to write off after you're making a person spends tens of thousands of dollars. You're like, well, you just need to eat shit on that. Because that's a fair bankruptcy to me. No, that's not it. So explain to me how you're being stalked right now. How is he stalking you? Again, what we're talking about is stuff that she does publicly. If she's talking about this stuff publicly, you know, it's funny too. Like these people, they love they fall all over themselves. And in two ways. They either say, number one, you're not talking about both sides. Look, I'm telling you word for word what she says. I'm giving it to you. I show you all of their freaking filings, all of that stuff. Then they start complaining when you show exactly what they say and you talk about, hey, this narrative, this changed 3 or 4 times now. What's going on with that? You know, when you show that stuff, oh, no, that's you being stalked. What the fuck? You know, again, it's always moving toward that middle, that victim narrative.
I want all of his fans to leave us alone. I want to make my rescue successful for my child and for the shell babies that have ended up in our care. They deserve the best, just like any other animal. I'm sorry if people out there don't know what's happening to us and they have to see weird stuff coming on the channel or the page or whatever every now and again. I'm sorry. I really am.
But you just said nobody. I don't get this. You just said that nobody watching things is actually following your stuff. They're all quote unquote Hales fans. Again, I don't personally interact. She's interacted with me. She reached out through someone to me multiple times to try to get me to help her put someone in jail. But I myself, just like many other people, do not choose to interact with her. I keep up with what she publicly does. You know, again, it's just amazing. So she's like, oh, you know, it's terrible. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, this whole scree is about Jeremy Hales. It's not about your turtle rescue. You brought up people, again, you brought up Ashley in it, which you'll bring up in a video later on that you ghosted. You also, you know, you bring up other family members in there too. You bring up all this other shit. But then you're like, well, I don't want anything to do with that. You just brought it up. You know, what the hell, man?
Embarrassing. It's humiliating. It's a lot of things. And I'm tired. I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm tired of trying to sell something and have people say, oh, you got to do this and you have to do that and you're not doing this and it's not really silver. Well, you know what? If I tell you it's silver because I don't lie.
You do lie, though, Lynette. Again, you straight up lied with something that I personally know to be true. See, when you experience it yourself, it's like, wow, it makes that concrete. Like I said, I record a conversation with her. She's responding and more to me. What she at first is like, that's not real. That was then it was that's actually with Tina. Then it was, yes, I did talk to him to prove that these two people were lying. And then it's gone back to that never happened. So yes, this person lies. But people are allowed. Look, people don't have to take your word when they buy silver and gold. Holy crap. You know how many scams are out there? Not just talking about Lynette Preston, but just talking about people in general. You know how many sellers scam people over silver and gold at the prices they are at right now? You know how many people get taken? So yeah, platforms, she's selling stuff, not through a marketplace, not through anything. There are no guarantees unless she sells it through Whatnot. There are no guarantees whatsoever that you will ever see anything with it. You know, you have, if you get scammed, you send her money. Like maybe if you send it through PayPal or something. Okay. But if she's not running it through a market, again, when she's just selling it straight up, listing it and saying, you know, you tell me how much this is. Or you've seen shit where people have done this stuff on Facebook too. You know, and then said later on, well, this happened or that happened or this didn't happen or that didn't happen. Well, you've seen how crazy that can go. So yeah, people should damn well, anyone that tells you not to ask questions when they're selling you shit, there's a reason that they tell you not to ask questions. You know, I do not trust anyone selling me stuff. And when so some of the bracelets, I want to show you something here. This is why people will ask questions, Lynette. When you're showing silver, for example, give me a minute here. Give me a second. I gotta pull this over because I want to show this to you. Okay. So when she's talking about selling items, again, I'm not commenting on the sales in any way whatsoever. I'm just saying with the items themselves, when they're talked about, like when I'm looking at, okay, here, let me bring up something real quick. Give me a second. All right. There's, here we go. This, right, where she's selling this, she talks about, you know, how much it weighs, everything else, you know, with this, the marks on them. I mean, see how hard some of them she spends time noting. Some of the stuff she throws out, we don't get detailed pictures with. So you could see people wanting to ask questions about everything that's thrown out there. Let's see, let's pull up something else. You know, not everything gets very detailed. She got at least a little more detailed with that. But, okay, people were asking about, here, let me pull this up, for example. They were asking about the marks on this, for example. You see how it's laid out there. You know, you see the weighing itself, but there's no markers. But she's saying if you ask questions there, well, it's right because I don't lie. Well, I'm sorry, but I would not take your word on that. I wouldn't take anybody's word on that. And to ask people, you're saying like all you folks out there, if you don't take my word on it, well, you're just you know, you're harassers. No, I mean she had a bunch of offers with some of that stuff too. But people ask questions, of course they should.
I've been scammed on several things I have purchased to resell. And it makes me so mad what people do. I would not do it to anyone else.
Okay, so you've been scammed before. That means you fell for a fake. So you have a problem with other people asking, because your eye obviously was not good enough to spot. I mean, I've seen some amazing scams out there with gold prices, especially where they are. I have seen some just crazy scams where people, you know, they take and they wrap or they plate bronze, for example. And, they'll sell it. They'll sell it as if it's a gold brick. And, man, there are so many scams like that. But she's saying herself that she has fallen for scams. That means that she wasn't able to pick out a scam. That means, she had scam items. How did you find out they were scam items? Again, you can see how that would be a problem. So why would I trust her eye?
I wouldn't. I want to thank you to the people that are sticking by us. I want to thank you for the people that have trusted us with their babies. We love them. We have had no deaths. I'll be honest, we've had one missing person.
What?
And we don't know how it became missing. If an owl got it or a hawk got it.
Wait.
But somewhere along.
We're talking about animals, right? Because like this just got weird right in the middle of it, okay? Because listen to this. It goes from, I want to thank the people who have trusted us with their babies. We love them. We've had no deaths. I'll be honest, we had one missing person. Wait, what? 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 Now again, I'm taking that as an animal, but usually I don't. It's just kind of weird how that just popped up out of the blue. Listen to that.
I want to thank you for the people that have trusted us with their babies. We love them. We have had no deaths. I'll be honest, we've had one missing person.
A missing person?
And we don't know how it became missing. If an owl got it or a hawk got it, but somewhere along the line, something took one of our little Russian tortoises when it was outside playing.
This is weird.
It was in a closed container. It couldn't get out. Something flew in and took it.
So that would be a death, right? So you said we've had no deaths. Well, if it went missing, then I doubt it's out there, just trucking the wild, like it's set off on an adventure like Huckleberry fucking Finn here. Holy moly, man.
That was devastating. But that happens. So I just want to thank you that for the people that are supporting us by, purchasing things. I have sold a couple things along the line. I hope I still continue. I've got lots of moccasins. I have a bunch of costume jewelry, but really pretty jewelry, really cute stuff. And I hope that I can get a lot of it out. I do have a whatnot shop. I'll post the name that you can look up, the link to it here tomorrow, but I do have a whatnot shop.
By the way, if you are interested in that, you can look that up as well. Again, I do not mean that with any sarcasm whatsoever. I mean that sincerely. If you want to support these people in their endeavors, I am not telling you not to. I talk about my personal feelings about that, but unlike half these assholes, I do not interfere with them having the ability to run a business if they want to, or an endeavor if they want to. That is something that these people seem to like to do, though. But hey, what do I know, right? What do I know? Let's continue.
I'm not doing auctions, just have a store. Mm-hmm. So if you want to look at it, I'm going to keep putting things on it like daily until I get everything that I want listed on it. I'm going to end this now because it's too long, but thank you very much, everybody, for your support. I'm sorry for having to even go on here and do this and not show my face. But I see a couple of you that are on here that are very nasty to me in comments. That's not good. And I'm sure that you'll share it and it'll go immediately on to the other channels and you'll make fun of it and mock me and humiliate me. And that's okay. Because you know what? That just says a lot about you.
Was this mocking and humiliating? Honestly, do you feel like we've mocked and humiliated Lynette? I think if her own words, if she considers that humiliation, then that would be her own standard. But I do not believe that mocked or humiliated anything in it. I think that the choice of missing persons and things like that have been weird. But I do not think there's been any mocking or humiliating at all. I do have my moments. I am not obligated to nicety. Like I said, these people, they lie. They treat people like shit. John Cook, the piece of shit that lives on their property, I mean, he is, he rates underneath a person to me. He is an absolute scumbag. Mark it, John. You are a scumbag. So, yeah, I don't feel any need for nicety toward them. However, I think that as far as this, again, it doesn't matter what you say, though, to these people or what you talk about. If you do not lockstep with them fully, you are harassing them. And meanwhile, like I said, they're reposting videos of like Jeremy's fucking his kid videos. Again, they'll go into chats with that. Just stuff to really piss him off, to make him mad. The hope that they'll get a reaction because they're the victims, right?
But we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep doing our best. We're going to keep caring for everybody. I'm going to keep trying to sell things to feed them. I'm going to just keeping on so that I can leave this as a legacy to Harley Grace. She deserves it. We are innocent for those of you following because you're followers of the stalker. You need to do your research.
She said that there's no protective order right now, right? Okay, if we took her totally squarely on her word about that, was there a protective order, Lynette? Were there violations of said protective order, Lynette? Does that mean that you're innocent there? Did you have a garbage fucking lawsuit that has been decided against you? Did you have you and your lawyer have some issues where through a case that you yourself had brought? Did you have issues where there were some really skeevy things going on behind the scenes? Did none of that happen? Are we pretending none of that happened? I'll tell you, if the stuff that I watched, if a court decides that that shit was not violations of a protective order, then that means nothing is a violation of a protective order. If I can go and film someone riding down the street and doing whatever the fuck, if I can have communication with a person, a protected individual. Like I said, I've had a protective order before. And the audacity through this, it just only in Levy County would someone get away with. But again, you can read what Dan fucking Owens says about it. Dan Owens, he said again that even though you're supposed to, essentially, to take it in a layman's term, you're supposed to, well, I guess it is pretty layman to say full faith and credit. But yeah, to say, hey, if this is decided in Ohio, it is also just like it's decided in Florida. With that guy coming out and saying, well, that's only for courts. That's only for cops. Me, I can investigate the shit out of you as a victim. Huh. All right. Man, fuck Florida. Maybe Florida's a great place, but fuck, I will never go there. You know, have you seen the issues, by the way? Have you seen the lawsuit against Levy County? They just lost. Woo, that one was fun. We will cover that, by the way. I think we'll go through that. There's some cop names you'll recognize, by the way. it's kind of interesting stuff.
Because we are innocent. This was a scheme from the beginning. It was planned. He knew exactly what he was going to do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he played.
And he came to this town to do it. And unfortunately, we got picked. Do your research.
God, I wish.
Please.
You know what? I wish somebody would pick me so I could make $50,000 from. Don't you? I mean, honestly, could you imagine? So I get one donor to be like, "Here's 50 grand, baby. Why don't you build that? Why don't you build you up a fucking deck or something? I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't it? I mean, Lord, pick me, pick me. Holy shit. I got some stuff I need to do around here. I mean, my God, I can only imagine having 56K to throw in where my kids could enjoy like a fucking build on deck or, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. Holy crap.
Do your research because you're wrong. My own family is terrified to stick up for me because they don't want to be stalked. They don't want to go through what I'm going through.
This is what
it's
you said about
only
Ashley.
Reason.
That's right there. Right there. They said that about Ashley. Put her name in a statement like that. And then we found out fucking 2 days later, you're writing letters to her, threatening her to take down things that she talked about dealing with you in the past. It's like you're going to unseal records so you can try to shame and bully and embarrass her. I mean, it's amazing to me to say that again, kids, this matters, that matters, but this kid right here doesn't matter. Her happiness doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I hope my kids remember me fondly, very fondly. If they don't, it will be heartbreaking. But I mean, you know, I know that they're entitled to their own freaking opinions on the world, though, and me. If they see something that, you know, again, that they didn't like that I did as a parent, and they came out and I'm older, you know, if I'm 60 and my kid comes out and is like, man, my dad was mean because of blah, blah, blah. You know what? They're allowed to have that opinion. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be heartbreaking to me, I could say, but do we need to, Lynette, what about that pesky little document that talked about you seeing that kid as a paycheck? Are you saying those people are liars? By the way, are you telling us that those people are liars too? And of course, yes, of course she is. But it's interesting to me that everyone that has a negative opinion is a liar. Everyone. Family, again. But they're all somehow standing with her. You know, they're all somehow right there. Anyway, let's finish this.
And that my family and my friends are not standing up for me is because they don't want people to do this to them. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Not at all. It hurts, but I get it. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to go through what we're going through. I just want it to stop. I just want it to stop. Good night.
What a bunch of shit, dude. I mean, how many times does Hales come up in this? I'm just here to talk about my turtle rescue. That's all it's about. That's it. But Jeremy Hales. Again, he's the selling point. You know, the other video, like I said, it heavily talked about Ashley, but she's been taking aim at her for days. I mean, here, look, here's her. First, they tried to say that you had 2L in them try to say that nothing was going on, that it was just people bringing up old content, which is not true at all. Then you have Lynette's old comments. These are how Lynette spins what happened there. Okay. Lynette said, I sent out an email telling them I want those videos on TikTok removed. It was a polite stepdaughter telling me that Ashley said it's freedom of speech and she'll say what she wants. So I will get the court case from our case, my case with Ashley, and I will make it public. Again, she's talking about Ashley. Again, you want to shut this piece of shit down? You let me know. You may, again, I don't know. I do not want to insert myself into what's going on here. That is not her. It's not her business. You should contact the area that it happened in. You should contact whatever and find out if she's trying to do this. And if she is trying to do this, I would raise absolute hell there. I would take that as harassment. And on top of it, if you need to get a lawyer, you should be protected by the state in that. You know? You absolutely should. Her again trying to unseal. Just the idea of her doing this is so gross. What was crazy is 2L was saying that she knew that Ashley was a liar because she had seen the case stuff. We had seen it. And that's not true at all. Then she loops it back around and tries to be like, when we see it, we'll know she's a liar. It just, again, it's gross. Everybody's the bad guy. If this, you notice the difference too. If it's someone related to Jeremy Hale's boy, everything is right as rain. It's true. If it connects to Lynette Preston, everybody, not only that they attack them, they try to bully them into silence. Again, I get the feeling that Ashley and I'll just say others. I've talked to a few of them in the past. I've not bothered them in a long time. If they want to talk to me, they can talk to me anytime. But I try not to. Again, I'm not trying to impose in their lives, but it makes me mad. And I think it makes a lot of people mad to see what they were doing. Like, this is her talking about it. So her playing the victim and pretending, you know, then everyone will see what a liar Ashley is. Exactly, Lisa. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm working at getting the court case right now. So she's saying that she is harassing the courts there. Samantha has a question. Okay. I'm sorry, Samantha. I'm a little under the weather, as you can hear. So, you know, so my, all right. What is the question? I'm looking at the chat now. If you would note the question one more time. I apologize for that. Like I said, you can tell from my voice, I'm not at 100%. So, you know, and on top of it, like I said, Megan's power crapped out on her today. So, but yes, ask away for sure. You know, 100%. I'll keep looking there. Was that a recent post? No, she's going back at old posts. These are old ones. I went ahead and, yeah, I sent you something on Messenger as well. Okay, I'll check that out actually. Just give me 1 minute. I'll watch right here and then I'll check that one. Well, with this, I also saw your comments. And like I said, actually, I thought you did really well in what you were saying, because again, I will probably play your video tomorrow. I wanted to put it in today, but then they did all of this, and oh my God, it made me so mad, you know? If Lynette threatens Ashley, is that considered intimidation of federal witness, and she's potentially will be called in Jeremy's case? Well, just to be honest about this, they've done nothing so far. So as far as the federal witness thing, the judge that's been involved in that belief, though, what I would do, like, just to be honest, I would check in with the again, you're talking about a juvenile record. Courts, you can note this too. The jackasses that they brought in, they had Volpe and Luthman. They brought them in. They basically harass people. They're quote unquote, they call themselves journalists, but call them jokalists because they're such a joke. But what they did, they ended up leaking, or one of them did. He leaked a paragraph from a Guardian ad litem report in another case recently, and it got a woman arrested for 3 days because documents like that, documents that deal with juveniles, are heavily protected. So if you are dealing with a juvenile case, I would be checking in to like the courthouse, the prosecutor, anybody there, and telling them, look, this person that in the past, again, it has been recorded. You have documents that show that they have tried to victimize you. They are now coming back yet again, and they're trying to unseal something so they can dump it into the internet, and they're trying to cause you stress. You have every right to bring that up. But again, you talk to them, and if that doesn't help, and if you want to talk to a lawyer, a consultation or something, you let us know. Whatever tools that you need, they will be at your disposal. I am not having fuck these people. They overstep way too much. And the way that she's overstepping is so gross. It really bothers me. Like I said, I feel. One second. I had something to tickle my throat. I was like, gross. I thought I was gonna cough for a second there. I didn't want to cough in the microphone. I saw your comment, by the way, where I posted it earlier too. Ashley, like I said, I realize this kind of stuff will wear you down. Look, I had one good parent, and then I had another not great parent, let's just say. And I don't ever get into that, but because it's my thing. It's not anyone else's. But when I was younger, they would pop up in my life, and they would try to do like really shitty things, and they were nothing on the level like this, though. There were nothing compared to it. So I can empathize just having a little bit of an interaction like that, but I can't imagine, with that. Give me 1 second there. I did see your YouTube video, though. I thought your YouTube video was really good. Oh yeah, well, I appreciate, you guys have always been nice with everything. Again, I try very much not to overstep my bounds with you guys. I know I worked for a long time in mental health. Work with a lot of kids that were broken, and the stuff I'd say. Lynette, to me, the way that she acts, she's a statistic on that, because I've seen awful people do awful things. And the crazy thing is, I can't figure out if Lynette for herself if she just tells the lie over and over again, or if she actually, after a while, it feels like she believes the lie. You know, wouldn't that be a weird way to live, by the way? That if you lie so much that you believe the lies you tell. I don't know. I mean, I'm proud for you though, because I could see in the videos, and when we talked back then, I could see where you were and where you were wanting to move, and then what you said. And again, you said all the right things in your newest stuff. Again, you're asking her, hey, leave me alone. Look, I'm doing whatever, just leave me alone. And if that's not enough, I'm not going to be something that you kick around. You know, sometimes you have to remind people, I'm not the kid that you bullied and treated like crap anymore. I'm actually a fully grown person, and I can take care of myself now. And I also have a support. So sometimes people like that, they need that reminder. And you got to remember, Lynette has gotten pretty brazen these days, because she's looking right now with her own actions. She's looking at losing everything for real. See, she, I don't know, see, you were talking about you were removed for so long. She decided, with the help of some of these idiots, that bankruptcy would be the way to go forward. She would try to write off all of the stuff that's happening with courts, with claims. She just tried to write it all off there. Well, unfortunately, the way her property is set up, it's not homesteaded correctly, and she may, or at least it looks like it's not, and she may end up losing everything because of it. Now, there's the part that John Cook owns that he would still have, but Lynette may end up losing everything. And she's gotten to the point where she talks about it that way. So she, right now, I don't think she feels like she has anything to lose anymore. You know, so she's, as far as trying to rehab her image and saying this or doing that, oh, she's just straight out there, like lashing out. And it reminds me of a petulant child. Sometimes you have to, you have to draw the line, and you have to be like, nope, I'm not going to put up that from you. I mean, it's super chats. I'm going to rest my voice. Tomorrow, like I said, I want to cover I thought your video was very good. I thought the way that you answered was great. And it was a good thing too. So I think that it deserves a discussion there. I will probably write about something else too later. Here we go. Let's see. Rest in beef face. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs. Excuse my, like I said, excuse any of my, there. Hey, what's up, E. Poindexter? Sent a Venmo for $50. Thank you for that. Take care of yourself. Thanks for pushing through. I appreciate it. Look, unless I'm like, I can't speak anymore, I usually will go. So, you know, it's just like I said, it's a voice. I'm doing pretty well. I've been sleeping a lot. You know, I've had help with watching the kiddos for the last couple of days, so I could rest a little. But I definitely, it's just, like I said, enough drainage. It's taking my voice a little bit. What's up, Carolyn, by the way? Thank you for the Caroline. Thank you for the 20 there for to feel better. Yeah, take care of yourself. Well, I appreciate that. I am, by the way. I very much am. You can hear me like spritzing up and doing other stuff to do that, but I've been resting in the day. Not anything I have. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Actually, I got a doctor's appointment for some other stuff, but it will also be with that. I'm going, you know, where I had all those other problems. I'm having all my blood work done from go, because I have no answers on what any of that stuff was. So I'm doing all my blood work and stuff again, but I'm not doing it through those specialists. I'm doing it. I picked out a PCP. I'm going to have them run everything, and we'll see. We'll see what we can find. If there's anything to find, there's got to be something, But besides this, I've actually been doing pretty good. Thank you too, Rest in B Face. I appreciate you. Tizzy, what's up, Tizzy? Thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you very much for that, Tizzy. I appreciate it. Yeety, thanks for the 2. Easy with the F-bombs, Tug, and the other word bombs. I like the F-bombs, though. I do like them. I really do like them. I just, the one thing I need to watch is not getting excitable. That's what I've been trying not to. So, yeah. Nora, thank you for the 43 months. We love that umbrella guy. Well, thank you. Love return too. Emmy, thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you, Emmy. Appreciate that very much. Laura, thank you for the gifted membership too. Thank you for that. Appreciate you there. Excuse me for reading these quicker than normal too. Mopar Mom, thank you for the 15 months. I'm sure the anti-Hales are full of stupid tonight. Possibly. Possibly. It's been funny. I cut out bits and pieces of what they discuss, but by and large, they keep whining. Oh no, people are talking about it. Fine. You get less and less and less and less. I try to temper that with, again, I would much rather they focus this way than they focus on their normal targets. So. Ruth, thanks for the 20. Thanks for all your coverage, research, and strength. Well, thank you, Ruth. Thank you for being here. And thank you also for everything you do. And also dropped 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Ruth. That is awesome and amazing and much appreciated. TZ dropped a gifted membership there. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anthony, thanks for the 2 for honey. I did get some honey, by the way. I did, but I'm going to go get some better honey. Let's just say, I'm going to go up to the farmer's market Saturday and get some that good stuff, Denise, thanks for the 20 there. Prayers for praying for healing for you, Tug. Feel better soon. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not feeling terrible. This weather out here, when our seasons change, it's rough. It is very rough. The landscape beauty, it comes with a heavy cost sometimes. Hey, Kelly, thank you for the 25 there. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Kelly also, thanks for the 5. Doug, did you see her post about Jeremy Hales? She broke her quarter. At this point, though, I don't want them not to post. I think they should just keep posting because, everything, it all just stacks up, and it all, here's the other thing too. It all is a problem or it isn't. And if what they've done and what they continue to do isn't a problem, then everything that they whine and groan about, that's not a problem either. Andre, thanks for the 2. What's the point? We all knew, or a toothless face. Well, yeah, apparently, I don't know, maybe it's worse. I'm not sure, but she took it down for she said chipped tooth. So I don't know if it's worse there or what, but she didn't want her face on the screen. And again, I'm nobody to judge on that. I keep my face off the screen. I don't care that it's on the screen. I just keep it off the screen. It's also much easier to, I don't ever have to worry about what's in the background or kids wandering in. It's kind of a lovely way to run things. But I'm not one to ever judge a person for that. I mean, again, I hope Lynette does more. If she wants to monetize these, it would be really funny to see her competing with 2L. Because honestly, Lynette, you would get a lot more viewers, I bet, than she would. Especially, you keep saying, though, you're going to do some evidentiary streams. And I look forward to those. I would love to see all this evidence we keep hearing about. She promised that. She said she was going to do some evidentiary streams. So We should get those, Something to bark about. Thanks for the 20 there. Oh, hey, thank you, Doug. Channel's at 8:37. Say, look at that. It's beautiful. Thanks for the shout outs. Go to lung specialist next week to meet the doctor. They think they can remove the spot. So you know what? I'm keeping you in my prayers and everything. And again, look, something to bark about is at 837 subscribers. They are so close to 1,000. We should pump them up tonight. If nothing else, just look up their channel if you have not. And if we pump up to 850 tonight, not a monster goal, but it in increments to get them moving along and keep them in your prayers. Again, they run a positive channel, a good one, and people talk about they like positivity. Well, there you go. There's some positivity. Hype it up. Blue Eyes, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Blue Eyes. That is much appreciated. Thank you for that. And like I said, I hate skipping over people so fast too. Thank you. William, thank you for the 10. What gets me is LP does not learn she's not supposed to be publicly speaking about JH. It doesn't matter if she calls him a stalker or not. It's still another violation. Yeah, but at this point, nobody does anything about it. I mean, that's what we've learned there. So at the end of the day, at the end of this thing that she does, I think what we're going to see as it gets, they're going to have, especially if Lynette loses her land in the bankruptcy, they're going to go fucking crazy, man. They're going to get worse, much, much worse with that. So, Silver Fox, thanks for the 10. Gee, let's see the guy that was giving her the food. He got busted by Winn-Dixie and lost his job. Yep. See, I forgot. I couldn't remember all the Winn-Dixie lore. Yeah. So the dude that was giving her stuff, she also, she was complaining about a bunch of the stuff. I remember her talking about how like part of the food was rotten and this and that. So, she was complaining about what she was getting, So, as somebody that ended up losing something for that, I probably wouldn't have been thrilled, Oh, how bad was the produce? Well, it was bad enough to lose my fucking job over, I think that would have definitely upset me. But again, that goes to the whole gratitude idea, I think it's interesting. Again, she insulted a bunch of people that have been buying her stuff lately. She talked about how all these people that are showing up for her live streams and stuff, they're only Jeremy Hale's supporters. Again, anybody can support her thing. I find it really difficult to support something myself. If we're talking about my money, when, again, they've said that they will not provide proof of live videos or anything. Not of everything. They will take photographs of things somewhat individual, which still hasn't happened. They've thrown out a couple of items, but they haven't done that with everything. But she blamed John. She was like, John won't let me. But she said she was going to do that. And again, when you're asking people for money and support, I don't think it's a lot for them to say, hey, if you're saying that people out here, they're really overreacting and they're wrong about something, well, the best way to prove them wrong is to show all these animals are good to go, they're healthy, etc. But yeah, with Dixie lost job, this not just happened, but it'll be the second summer since it happened. Silence makes them crazy. Yeah, that's what it seems like. The baby and Booksmith, thanks for the 2. Is the protection order over? We've not heard anything on the protection order decision. And to be honest, here's a better way of saying it. If nobody enforces a protection order, is it valid? Even if you have a protection order and nobody will protect you, Do you really have a protective order? Or do you just have a piece of fucking paper that means nothing? So even if this legally might smell like pee. Thanks for the two. Disgusting. Just using the kid to grip. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not just a grift. It's a grift that works, you know. It's a grift that works for everything. Yeah, this is I'm going to hand this down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hand it down. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah. Oh, wow. That's interesting. So there are some screen grabs of Lynette talking about Ashley last night. I'll have to go through some of them and see what's there. I'll have to see what's there, what I do or don't have, and we'll see if there's extra. Again, if you got any of that YouTube, let me know too. But I've not found anybody. Again, they pulled it so fast. Yeah. Nothing says I really stand behind what I say, like pulling it down and pretending it never happened. You know? But Silver Fox, thanks for the 5. She only knows Mr. Hale's by Lynette. And John's words only, yes. She was 3 when they first had interaction. Her mind has been warped by her people. And I hope to God that kid is not saying what they say. I really do. I hope that that kid is not, because like you said, people put that in your head. You know, a 3-year-old to a 6-year-old. They know, like a kid knows what a parent wants to hear. So they will tell you things that are not necessary. You know, again, they're getting interaction. It's positive affirmation. And some kids will do anything for positive affirmation. You know how little kids are. It's a sad reality. Yeah. These leaves smell like pee. Thanks for the 2 there. Too much butt scratching going on that property. I know. She's talking about scratching the turtle's butts. It's like, oh no. You know what? If you really want to get the turtle, if you want it to run really fast, you just stick the thumb right. Never mind. It's like, wait a minute. Aspen Ball, thanks. Sound like Joe Biden's hosting tonight. Yeah, that's what I was going for. That's what I'm going for. Joe Biden. Just Jay, thanks for the 5. Save Tug. He doesn't even make $20K per month. I know. That was so funny. When they came out with these crazy totals, it's like, oh my God, what a bunch of weirdos. 20K indeed. Lord. That's crazy. Emmy, thanks for the 10. Oh crap, Tuck. I make thousands of dollars doing my job as well. Hey, LB, get a damn job. Indeed. Or you know what? Do something that, again, if you ran the turtle rescue, see, they expect just money to come in without them showing or doing anything with it. Dude, show the turtles. Like, do stuff with them. You know? Make people want to back it. That's how you get people to give you money. You make them. Have you seen those? Like, there's a few people that I follow. They have things like what are they freaking, the mantis shrimp? You know, like this one lady has a mantis shrimp. You know, and she does different things with it, and it's funny. It's cute. I enjoy it. I can show it my kids. They enjoy it as well. So you know, it's something that, you know, they merchandise and everything else. And she could do the same thing. Nobody's stopping her. But instead, Jeremy Hales will make her some money, though. She knows that, too. She knows that complaining about Jeremy Hales will also make her money. So, you know, again, Lynette, though, if you make videos on YouTube, you've got to make 4,000 watch hours. It wouldn't be that hard, but again, deleting your video, it takes away your watch hours. Sorry about your luck. Hey, rest in B-Face. Thanks for the 7 months. I hope you feel better soon, Tuck. This has been one of the worst seasons for allergies and sinus issues. I feel your pain, my dude. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you. I hear you. And it's the same thing. I got you. Janice, thanks for the 10. There are no Florida mountain lions anywhere near her. They're only found in small areas of marshy wetlands, nowhere around you. Go to Florida Panther website to read more. Yeah, she's saying that in the past, sometimes she's owned all this and that. And again, I don't know her past with all this stuff. I do know that looking at a lot of the people that are in the wildlife game, there are some absolutely crazy people in it. You know, like look at the whole thing with the Tiger King. Look at all the people, not just the Tiger King, right? And the Tiger King was an absolute character, but it wasn't just him. Look at all the other people that were involved in all of that. You know, look at everything that went on with all of that. Those people were pretty crazy, weren't they? So yeah, a fan addict. Hey, thank you, by the way. The other day, I caught your feedback. I was playing some of the new songs, and I saw that at the very end, but I cut the live stream right before I had a chance to again, say thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I need a sick day. If I get sick like you, my doc told me stop talking. Your vocal cords are strained. He's like, yeah, well, I spend most of my day not talking. That way, that way, the YouTube algorithm is not a friendly thing. It is a very unfriendly beast. So I do not take very much time off of the YouTubes because YouTube does not love us if we take, where I switch up days, the algorithm already sees me like I'm taking a day off. So that's one of the problems with it, even though I'm not technically, in real life taking days off. It's just part of the grind, man, part of the grind. But if I really have to take one off, I will. I for real will. And I appreciate it. Mostly harmless. Thanks for the 5 there. Didn't the judge say that the current protective order is in place until she rules on the renewal? That's how I took it. But again, I would have to have the paperwork. We don't have paperwork on protective order cases. That's the problem. That's what I took. Excuse me, I sprayed some Vapo Cool. Ugh, God, it's so gross. Oh, it works though. But that's the way I took it. But again, I'd have to see paperwork. That again, like I guess the best way to say that would be if nobody will enforce a protective order, does your protective order exist? Even if on paperwork it exists, these people, how many times have they violated? Even when they went to court, how many times did they violate? How many fucking things have they done? How many personal interactions? So if that doesn't warrant enough concern to say yes, right here. And again, the police departments, hell, I firmly believe, I'm glad Hales is not around them all the time because I firmly believe the police departments down there would let them do God knows what to the man. I mean, they kind of, if they ended up doing something terrible to him, in fact, they've let him, and I'm talking about like catastrophic kind of thing because they've already done some pretty heinous stuff. William, thanks for the 5. I don't trust her. There's no PO. She said the same thing back in September. That's true too. I did see the Samantha thing. I did catch that. Thank you. And again, you all can write me, as you know, from any time. I do not talk about things publicly unless it needs to be public, and I will note it beforehand. So if somebody reaches out for something like that, I won't throw your business out there unless, again, I've tried to be very tactful with it. I've tried to keep, like with Ashley and Samantha, I've tried to keep y'all's names out of stuff. And one of the things, one of the reasons I run Wide Open It's because when these people focus on me, they don't focus on these folks. And you know what? I can take anything they dish out. You know, I can. Because ultimately, to me, these people are strangers. They can't hurt me. You know, they're not going to come here to Podunk, Tennessee and threaten me. You know? And again, you know, they can whine and cry, but look, I'm covering both sides of their stuff too. So they should be thrilled and happy with that. But hey. Jack's mom, thanks for the 23 months. Hey, thank you there. With all the recent poor, pitiful them streams, I get the feeling they're up to something. Yeah, they've been reporting everything to law enforcement is what they're doing. They're trying to play the victim. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, you know. Lynette says she's going to sue everybody. Like I said, unfortunately for Lynette, remember the conversation we had about kids too, Lynette? Oh, you probably don't. I've saved that there. It's interesting where you tell me, myself, I haven't harassed your kid. Huh, that's weird. Interesting, isn't it? I get the feeling though, yeah, they aren't sincere. They're believable. Trust equals zero. Yes. Well, they're all hurting for money these days. So, you know, it's a way. The aggressor thing has not been working out. So maybe think of a different way. Perpetually puzzler. Thanks for the urine lists. Oh yes, that's I do like joke lists. I do think that is funny. I still love that term. Urine lists work too. It's sassy. Thanks for the vibe. As a parent of 5 adult girls, it's hard to hear things that I did that hurt, harmed, or upset them, even though that's not my intention. But I apologize for it. Yeah. You know, it's just like with my kids. Okay, I don't spank my kids. Instead, I raise my voice. And when I raise my voice, like if there's something bad, I can be intimidating. You know, as a male, as a tall male, as a big guy, I can be intimidating with that. You know, and that's the way I deal with, you know, making sure my kids stop something. You know, and again, that is not a statement on spanking or not either. You know, just dealing with bad parent. You know, having a bad parent in my life, that makes you really kind of not want to do that. But you know, when my kids, I see I feel, you know, when they talk about that, like, oh, that's scary or this, I feel horrible about having to do it, you know, even with that. But at the same time, you know, we have talks about why things have to happen too, you know, like if they do something and they continue to do something and it's bad, you know, they're acting out, then how do we reel that back in? But yeah, I hear you there, Sassy, for sure. I haven't gotten to the adult part, but I hear it from like the oldest now, you know. And one of the good things, something that's healthy, you can have healthy dialogue. Again, there's no comparison though with a healthy relationship and what we're talking about with Lynette. Like there is no health in that. That stuff. Puzzler. Thanks for finding. No child chooses, by who or where they were born. But this child was placed with no real research, and he was adopted. Who chooses this for? Well, the problem is going to be later on. Again, there have been statements that really do bother me. I try not to talk about HG very much. I talk about the real glaring red flags to me. You know, the red flags that Lynette brings up herself, the things she said. But something that really bothered me lately, I have not been able to get out of my head, is her bringing up how, again, I don't know if this is true or not, but regardless, it's become part of the internet dialogue that this kid will see later on. That she was an unwanted child, that they wanted to abort her, that they took her to the abortion clinic not once but twice. Like, that's a terrible thing for a child to hear, you know? It's sad because, you know, in the future, that kid is going to see that stuff. And again, it'll be blamed on other people. All of it will be. It's all creating a narrative. All of this narrative will be told to this kid, and the kid may not know any better. I don't know, but it saddens me profoundly because it suggests that a child's not wanted. Like, yeah, with my girls, no matter what happens in their life, I never want them to feel unwanted. I always want them to know that they're loved. It doesn't matter anything that's come up in the past. We focus in the now, because the now is what matters. It's not it's not some past. I mean, that does bother me. E. Poindexter thinks of the 10 there. My hubby had a rocky past with his stepdad. Doesn't talk to fam much. My family is totally different. Both folks married 68 years, talk all the time. It's a transition for sure. Yeah. I mean, you have different. I saw somebody talking about, and I liked the conversation because it never gets brought up. But in marriages, you have different just families, period, too. You know how families, like one family, maybe you have people over all the time. Everybody's connected and stuff. They're always around. And then you have, like my family is a small family. We're very tight knit, but, don't really look at like the outsider to it. You know what I mean? So it's a totally different thing. And like at holidays, yeah, we deal with the same folks. It's good and it's healthy, but such a different thing. And yeah, it's I mean, when you have dysfunction, like I said, one thing I will eternally be grateful for is that my mom was a good parent, a very good parent. It took me many years to understand how good of a parent, and she's still a good parent. Even today, she's a great grandparent too. But, some families have that other dysfunctional part. And sometimes they're very dysfunctional, depending. Astrid, can I get a birthday song for 70? Yes, you can. Now, my singing along, it will not be there. And I apologize. I love to sing along. I love to personalize. It's just, if I do, it'll sound like a frog singing out of sync. So, but yes, of course. And love to you on your birthday.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
And remember, I hope it has been a great day. If for some reason it hasn't, however, remember, there is the do-over, and you are permitted to do-over today if you wish. But I hope it has been great. Love to you. Jack's mom, thanks for that. If you want some local honey to have in your wall, indeed. Be like, hey guys, can I borrow? Oh, that's hilarious. Between the mice that we've had run in and the freaking the bee problem, I'm wondering if we're going to get some kind of mutant living in the wall. We're going to have like honey mice. They're going to come out with giant stingers and shit. They produce some kind of oozing the ichor. You're like, oh my gross. Oh my gross. Lisa Lee, might smell like pee. Thanks for that vibe. Lisa just blamed you for bringing Ashley into this. Oh yeah. I'm the one who did it, right? I'm the one who wrote fucking Ashley and threatened her, right? You talking about back in the past? No, Ashley. Let's see. How did we find out about Ashley? Because she had made videos talking about that dynamic. And not only that, but Lynette was talking about it. She was posting about them. So we saw them and we discussed part of that. And when we did, we luckily had some kind of conversation. Years pass. And then suddenly Lynette's bringing them again. Unfortunately for Fatty and friends, they just lie and they lie. Again, remember, they're the not PR team that is totally a PR team. They've been running PR for these fucking people forever. Now, again, remember, if this was somebody else, if it were switched around, these people would be all over these folks. But because it's Lynette, they have to stay within this specific bubble. They have to attack. And that includes attacking Ashley or whoever. But you know what? Who gives a shit about some fat, used up weirdos? I mean, again, they latched on hoping. And now they're going to ride it to the point that they're going to attack people that grew up with Lynette. They want them to unseal. They were talking about unsealing juvenile documents. What absolute pieces of shit. That's a piece of shit right there. That is. Fuck them. Gross people, man. Puzzle, thanks for the 5. LMNOP, it's a method of getting extra money. The child's brain is forming the only 2 role models she has. Yes, indeed. That's why you have to be so cognizant as a parent of what you're doing. You know, one of the things that I really liked that Ashley was saying, you know, that she had these negative staples in her life. You can go 2 ways with that usually. You can either model that behavior or you can learn from it. And when I'm again listening to her, I don't know her, but as a observer of behavior, what I see is her going out and again talking about how everything that she's done, there's again family, promoting these healthy bonds, and you can tell that she's observant of not just, you know what else was good in there? She owned her own past. Like she's, you know, again, none of us are fucking saints, man. None of us. Said I've had issues in the past, I've had substance issues. I don't judge people for that kind of stuff, you know, but there comes a time where you take ownership of that and you got to change. And or you don't. You know, some people never change. And I was proud to hear, again, 2 years just disappeared. She was gone. To have somebody threaten you behind the scenes. So yeah, it's funny. Like, how did that become public? Oh, no. Lynette was bragging about family and all of that. She was bragging about that relationship while threatening them behind the scenes, which we found out because Ashley got tired of being threatened because she told her to leave her alone. Now, am I going to let Ashley stand alone? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Because I've dealt with these degenerate weirdos at a surface level, and I've seen how nasty and despicable they are. And I can only imagine the vitriol and threats and bullshit dealing with them on a personal level is. And I don't, you know, one of the things with myself is if I tell somebody that I'm going to do something, I try my utmost to do it. It's like my kids, they say it's so annoying because you know how somebody will come to you and they'll ask, hey, can you do me a favor? Well, my answer to that is it depends. I never say yes because that's agreeing. Yes, I will do you a favor. Okay, well, I agreed to whatever the hell, right? So it's the same thing with that. You know, when these, if they need something, then they will not be bullied and browed because I see these people do it, and they do it to some of the, like Jeremy Hales is a huge YouTuber out there, and if they're willing to attack him in a regular and stuff, what will they do to somebody that's just out there trying to live life? You know? So, no. But damn straight, I'm not going to let Ashley suffer in silence over it. That's what they want. That's what they absolutely want. They want you to make somebody sit in the background and suffer for them. Fuck them. Mr. Coop, thanks for a little candy money. To help your throat real fast. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm going to sprinkle candy money on it. Oh, these quarters, they don't go down pretty well. I appreciate you, man. That'd be really funny. Oh, yeah, this is candy money. It doesn't taste good. Keep on keeping on, Tug. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was like, man, today's stacked up. First, we have, we have issues from Go. We have Megan's power is out, so she can't even get near streaming today. We have this mess right here. But I was like, you know what? I'm still going to, I'll right up till showtime. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to feel like this. But I did. I'm glad I did. Sassy, thanks for the vibe. Talk what about meds from Walmart? The Kuwait ones? Yeah, also fresh ginger. I've got meds. I absolutely do. I've got a bunch of stuff, and I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow too. Again, it's not for that, but the doctor will. They'll give me medication for it too. If I need something stronger, have them check me out. But I did get medication. I absolutely have. I'm taking like I said. The problem is my voice sounds so bad because of drainage. When I'm sleeping, I've been sleeping, like I like to sleep with a recliner, recline up and down, and it keeps it flowing so it doesn't sit up in my head. But it's got to go somewhere. So that's been my problem. But yeah, ginger, organic lemon and honey. Yeah, local honey. I've got to get some better honey, which Saturday I'll be able to get some better honey. Steep lemon and ginger, and add honey to tea. I've been using tea, warm drinks too. God, tomorrow I'm gonna give me a chai tea too. Oh, can you just taste it already? When I go to the doctor, I'm going by. I'm gonna leave early. Give me a tea. Oh, it's gonna be good. Stacy, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for that, Stacy. Appreciate you there. Oh, no drama material. Did I bring yours up and missed it? My bad. Let me go back. Sorry about that. I apologize. I'm not thinking clearly all the way in there, so I'm not surprised by that. Give me a minute. I have to find you. Here, just give me a second. I'm rolling. Oh, there you are. Sorry about that. So thank you for the 20 there. I apologize. I missed that. I've been involved in this for 2 years. I'm using an alias for a reason. I worry that Lynette is going to harm herself in age 2. She's never lost like this. She's idiots propping her up, which is giving her false hope. I hope these people never do anything horrible like that. Again, she's at the precipice of losing everything. And look, I agree. She's at a bad place for losing. And I hope to God that her supports it. And thank you again for noting that. But yes, look, the problem here is that Lynette, in this, they remember when they were so thrilled with the bankruptcy thing. They all got out. John thanked Bruce for the idea. I mean, they all did out this lap, like, this giant circle jerk where they had won something, and they hadn't won anything, but they pretended they had. They absolutely pretended that they had. And the whole time we told Lynette, we're like, look, this is not smart. Again, this is not going to work out the way you think it is. It's going to go sideways. And it has potentially gone the worst way possible, It's funny. Fatty's so desperate for content. Somebody just messaged me. She's so desperate now. She's like, Tug edited himself into the call with Tina and Lynette. Yeah, that's why she's talking to me and answering my questions, right? They are so desperate. You've got to pray at the altar of the entitled. You've got to believe everything there. And sometimes the stupid gets too much and people bail. But man, some of these people are like fucking cultists. And it's just amazing to watch, like, all the people that have walked away from their stupid. I mean, we're talking about co-hosts. We're talking about some big name people that were like, look, these people, they lied to me. They lied to me about this. They told me not to check out people like Paint Chips, that all that stuff was a lie. There was no criminal involvement with any. Oh, Lord. These people are just nuts, man. But they will lie about anything. And that's how you know that they are duplicitous pieces of shit, because they will never tell the truth about anything. It was really interesting to be involved with a court hearing where I'm there. So I hear it real time. I take notes. I have no eyes on me because I'm not on the screen. So I can just sit there, watch. I can shorthand the ugly hell out of it. And it was ugly. I mean, some of the notes look terrible when they're written out. But I got to see how they handle it. And you hear about them lying, but you don't see it firsthand. With this, I got to see it firsthand. And it was just, it was even better than I thought it would be, because they're so weird and crazy. Pandora, thanks for the tip. My mom didn't want us. We were pawns to keep Dad from leaving her. It's debilitating to know your mother didn't want you other than with a weapon. I've healed, but the memory lingers. Love you, Tuck. Man, I hate that for you, Pandora. My dad took my mom leaving very badly, and he would do crazy shit. I remember he would do crazy things. Like, he was a police officer back in the 80s, and he would. So my mom would go get a new job, go to work. He or one of his friends would pull her over, cause her to delay, try to cost her jobs. I remember it. I remember it very well. I remember them trying to tell, me certain things, like to poison my mind with my mom. And I also, like I said, I just remember some of the crazy that they would do. And when I was a kid, even then I understood that, like, visitation and stuff, it wasn't to have me around. It was because I was a weapon. I was a weapon you could wield at somebody that had walked away. And I mean, it made for interesting visitation, because, like, visitation for me when my father was stuff like, we would go to rent movies. He'd rent me 5 movies, 10 movies, if whatever, and that would be it. Man, I rented some crazy, so, like, horror movies and shit. I watched some crazy stuff, but I watched some other crazy stuff too that was very inappropriate for kids, because I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know the difference between like a movie like Zombie Lake. I remember that, for example. It's a movie that looks like a horror movie, but really it's more like oh, look, naked people in the water. Oh, look at that. It's an exploitation kind of movie. I rented stuff like that. I didn't have anybody around. My mom, boy, she get mad about stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it is an ugly lesson. I remember my father lost a second son. He had God, I can't remember the name for it. Toxic blood poison. I can't remember the name for it. And I remember him telling me that I hated this because I lost the only son I would ever have. And that always stuck with me, because, again, he didn't see me as a kid. He didn't see me as his son. But I mention all of that to say, I've seen bad parenting up close and personal. I've seen it, and I've seen the weaponization, and it's ugly. And you recognize it in people. It's sad. And we all have our stories, man. I don't say that stuff to be like, oh, woe is me either. I'm just saying, it's all chapters in who you are. as I've gotten older too, I'm more prone to not just rattle on about stories, but to tell more and more stuff like that. Yeah, Jack's mom had her birthday Sunday, 71 June. All right, yeah, I'll throw out another. Of course, I love having birthday songs. So let's kick it out here. Here we go.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
It took its thing.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Boom, 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 boom. I love it. I love birthday again. I hope it was great. If not, remember, do-overs. Hi, what's up, by the way? Reese, thank you for the 20 there. Praying you have a speedy recovery. Thank you for all you do. If you haven't been told today, you're an amazing father. Well, I appreciate that. I do. You know, Father's Day is coming up too. I'll probably stream then as well because, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day, those are important days. So I want all the mothers and fathers out there, you know, on those specific days to feel valued. You know, parents, they should know it's a very Father's Day coming up. It's funny, the kids, they're like, I don't have any money. It's like, I don't want you to buy me anything. Like, we're going to make you something. You're like, all right, that'll be great. So I always like that. I always get something. I keep a lot of it in my billfold. My billfold is like heavy and too big. See, Puzzle, thanks for 5. Making push the big red button on the power pole, didn't she? That's probably what happened. Yeah, she's broken too many things overnight. At Bohemian Booksmith, have I tried an neti pot? Not yet. Not yet. I tried a different version. I tried the the low rent towel version, but I haven't yet. And also, I've done like nose clear and all of that wonderful stuff. Debbie D, thanks for 11 months. Find and play 2-out video where she learns drama gets more love for her side. It's definitely an eye opener. Where I was like, yeah. Well, drama sells. I mean, ultimately, like these people again, they're totally allowed to do it. This is the thing. What they can't stop their nasty little mitts from doing is trying to go in, burn down channels, trying to false flag, all this other bullshit. They don't know where to draw the line. Drama is fun. And again, you don't have to like people. You can hate people with a passion. Man, I don't like these people. I think most of them, I don't personally entwine my feelings, but I will never like these people because they're liars and scumbags. They're con artists. I hear them lie and lie and lie. They lie about so many things. It's just astounding to me the number of things, not only they'll lie about, but things they'll also say they'll give us proof for. Like the animals that Jeremy supposedly offed. The 2 dogs he supposedly offed. Where did that go? Oh, coming soon. It's been over a year, but coming soon, right? Coming soon. They definitely, they definitely are duplicitous piles of garbage. But like I said, I've dealt with so many weirdos and degenerates online that I don't even flinch at that. It's not like drama does sell online for sure. It does. The problem is, again, they don't stop. They will do horrible things, and they will do, what was bad is when they were telling you that they found out that drama sold with regard to their neighbor and getting them arrested. Like, that's pretty jacked up. I'm telling you that sells. I mean, that is really messed up. And Puzzler, I'm still reading it. It's for my Dr. Kobe. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I still read it, though. I do appreciate it, though. Yeah, tomorrow, like I said, I'm getting my, I'm having a few things looked at, but it'll give me this. Again, I'm having all my blood work redone, just trying to get some answers from stuff that happened before. Man, I mean, considering, even with this, considering where I was a year ago, man, I feel like a million times better. But anyway, all right. Well, I'm calling it here, okay? You folks, I appreciate you. And again, I'm content Santa again today. But I appreciate you. We're going to end here. And I'm not sure who's live right now. I'm not going to look right now. Go find somebody. Go find them and show them love. Appreciate you.